What is up, dudes and dudettes and all the beautiful people of the interwebs? You know, it is Saturday morning and you're here with the Smash Podcast. So open your eyes and your ears as we Carolina smash this nerdy goodness into your hearts. As always, we got the usual suspects on the panel. We got Mr. Operation. What's going on, Op?
What's up, everybody? Glad to be here. Finally be able to talk spoilers. I get in trouble, so just glad to get into that.
Yeah, you held the L for this past week for that, so you finally can redeem yourself now.
Threw that shit right in the trash when this morning started.
Of course, we got one of the broadband bullies himself, Neth the Lees.
What's going on, guys? Glad to be here. I just actually watched Black Panther again last night, so I'm ready for this episode.
Oh, you already know. We all saw it. I went and saw it again last night too, myself. Because there's only one theater in here that does like a 1 a.m. show, and I went and saw it. Of course, we got the ever mindful animator man himself, Mr. Soul King. What's up, Soul?
What is good, everybody?
Just chilling. I know you've been waiting for this because you've been wanting to talk about it nonstop.
Oh yeah, definitely.
How many times have you seen it now? You on 5 or 6?
I'm on 4 right now. I'm going to go see it tomorrow.
Man can't stop getting enough. And of course, today we got a special guest.
The Blue Tyrant.
Yeah. If you like a color and you need to get away, you can always call Miss Blue Rendezvous. How you doing, Blue?
I'm doing fine. You know, just hanging out. Excited. I have not seen the movie more than once, so just going to throw that out there now.
Oh,
I'm not like gonna go see it like 5 times. Like people have been, which is exciting. It's great because super excited about the movie. But like, bro, I'm good. I sit through a movie once and I kind of just like, all right, I'll let it sit there, like let it settle, and then I'll see it again. Maybe like when it comes out on Blu-ray or.
No.
I don't think I've ever been to the movie to see one movie more than once ever in my life.
I've bbeen 3 times for 3 separate movies. This is probably the top one, but the other one that I went and saw multiple times.
50 Shades of Grey.
No, I actually went to go see. Believe it or not, I went twice to go see the second Twilight movie because I had to take my sisters one time. And then I went with my girlfriend a second time, and then the other movie after that, it hurt me. But the other one, the other movie I went and saw was the 7th Harry Potter movie, the Deathly Hallows. I went and saw that 3 times. One with my sisters, one with my cousins, and one with my nephew.
I mean, it makes sense if you go with people.
Yeah.
Like, I want to see this movie, but I saw it, but I still want to see this movie. So okay.
Yeah. Hey, look, the 7th Harry Potter movie I enjoyed, so I wasn't mad about going to see it more than once. But this movie right here is one that I've gone by myself to see more than once. Like, this movie is the truth. So before we get into it, of course, I am your boisterous host with the most, Bloody Knuckles. So with all that being said, I know everyone here wants to gush. So who wants to start with what they love the most? So I know you've been waiting for this. You want to take the floor?
Me?
I'll say really what I really love was Killmonger. That's probably the most favorite thing I like about the movie, if anything.
R.I.P. Killmonger.
Yeah.
The GOAT Killmonger. The MCU villain.
Oh gosh.
Hey, Auntie.
Hey, Auntie.
You guys are probably gonna hate me.
Go, Blue. It's your floor.
I mean, I just have some stuff that I would like to express about Killmonger.
Okay. Go
ahead.
I feel. I mean, don't yell at me now, okay? I feel like they could have maybe done a little bit more to make him more villainous. I think he was.
Heresy.
I think.
Hang on. Yeah. Keep going. Keep explaining. I want to see where you're coming from.
I think he was a villain. Obviously, like he wanted to kill people. He did kill people. However, I think he was a little bit like his story was too understandable. Maybe like people can sympathize with him. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
And so when that happens with a villain, it's hard to hate him.
Yeah,
That's the point.
and that's the point.
That's what makes him a good villain in my eyes, because you can understand where he's coming from. He actually has a real motivation, not just to be evil.
Well, yeah,
and,
I
like,
really
you
did
feel
love his
for him.
story. I really did love his story. But
because the big
But
point about
the
the
thing
movie is
the
that
thing about Marvel is they always have just an evil villain. The only villain that was really not evil was the one from Civil War. He had a reason to
Bucky.
do everything.
Well, no, I'm saying Bucky. No, not Civil War.
Well, he was brainwashed, though, so that's a little different.
Oh,
Yeah,
you're
it
talking about
was-
Baron Zemo. Baron
Zemo.
Zemo.
Yeah. That dude was a hater for like 2 years. Damn.
like, for example, people didn't like Claw, right? Because he was like, you know, not a nice guy. Like, you're just like, oh, this guy, he's so cocky, and he's like so like he thinks
dirty.
he's like so. He just was like a guy to hate. But like, I didn't hate Killmonger. Like, I understand why he had to, you know, be reprimanded, and I understand why he was like, you know, the bad guy. But like, dude, his story like touched my heart.
and that's what makes him so compelling, is because with Ulysses Claw, we saw him in Civil War and get his start on what he was. We knew who Ulysses Claw was. He was an asshole. That's his point. But with Killmonger, he wasn't just trying to be a villain for being the sake of a villain. He was a person with ideologies and beliefs and wanted to change that. That's what makes him more of an interesting and better villain, because of the fact that he wasn't just trying to take over the world just because of the fact that it's Tuesday and he was bored and wanted to take over the world. No, he had a full thought out reason of why he needed to take power in Wakanda and what he's seen throughout the world. That's what makes it so compelling.
His intentions were thought provoking, because you see these other villains of Marvel, you see like, oh, he's just evil. This is all they want to do. Got grudge against somebody. No. Like, you actually know why he wants to take over. He sees it as a benefit to his race, to his people. This is why he did what he did throughout the movie.
Yeah, I think I can dive at it this way. You see, Blue almost wanted him to be more of a villain, but instead he was more of an antagonist. And an antagonist doesn't necessarily mean villain, but just who the protagonist is in conflict with.
Exactly.
So in this case, Killmonger served as a story arc for Black Panther to show him why you need to change the ways of Wakanda, why you need to open your borders up, open those bridges, because you saw in the beginning of the film, he was just like the other kings. He was just like his father, where he wanted to be secluded, and it was not Wakanda's way to help others. But he saw that by not helping others, he was really just dooming the world, and they had the resources to help, but they did nothing. They turned their backs.
Exactly.
I definitely think that he was people are gonna hate me. I do think that as an antagonist, he was like the best. I enjoyed, I mean, all of the characters all had great backstories. Like, they all did a very good job of, especially the actors, they did a great job of making us believe that they were them, you know? And I feel like each and every character like was important, you know? Like, they all had something that you wanted to know about them. Like, you wanted more screen time for them. You know how some characters are like throwaway ones?
Yep.
Falcon.
Hating on the boy Sam.
Nah, they can do him much better. He has to be a little too much for me.
You know, fun fact about Falcon, the actor, I think his name is Mackie. He was actually supposed to be Black Panther originally. Like, he was considered for it.
Anthony Mackie, yep.
Yeah. Yeah, right. That's exactly what my reaction was. You'd be amazed by a lot of the Marvel picks. Originally, do you guys ever watch the show The Office? You know Jim from that?
Yeah.
He was originally supposed to be Captain America.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd be amazed by the weird picks they had
that guy
originally.
is a great actor.
Oh, he is.
He's been in what's the war movie he was in? Oh, I forgot the name of it. But he did a really amazing job there. Completely different from the comedy that he was on. So
There would be nothing worse than what's his name? Nicolas Cage being chosen to be Superman. There's nothing worse. I've seen it.
Yeah.
Nicolas Cage. I mean, Nicolas Cage has been kind of doing a whole bunch of movies just to sort of, for the sake of doing movies. I don't know if he probably has like some kind of debt that he's trying to pay off, because the last like, I don't know, 5 movies or something he's been doing have been.
A lot of his movies have been trash in like this last decade.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what does he do? He just like takes any script and he's like, yeah, I'll do this. No problem. No, boy, you have to be a little bit more, selective.
I think that the the top movie I've probably seen with him in a while was probably, I don't know, Wicker Man, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, I think Wicker Man.
He's probably does better supporting cast actually.
He was in Kick-Ass too, wasn't he?
Was he?
Yeah, he was. He was in the first Kick-Ass. He was Big Daddy.
Right, he was the father, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ever since people freaked out about this guy being Batman, I'm really bad with names.
Ben Affleck?
Yes, Ben Affleck being Batman and him doing such a good job. I'm kind of open to being like, okay, like I'm gonna give this actor a chance. You know what I mean? And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't.
Yep, it's one of those things that happens, unfortunately. But like, I never had a problem with Ben Affleck, and when we saw him in Batman v Superman,
he saved that movie.
He was great. He was great in that movie.
He's a great Batman.
Yeah, because one, he's a talented actor because of a lot of the things that he's done in the past. He's a big action hero and action star. He does a lot of that, but he's also a director. He knows what he needs to do and what needs to be done. However, they just kind of fucked him over on a lot of that, and that's coming from the studios, not him.
Yeah. Anyhow, yeah, I feel like Killmonger. I mean, I'm surprised that he's like your favorite part of the movie, but I think that I've really enjoyed him as an antagonist.
Yeah, as an antagonist, and I think we really like him. Like he did phenomenal, a great actor and all. But
yeah, for sure.
Throughout the
they
MCU,
all were amazing.
Let's be honest, the villains have been complete trash throughout the MCU so far.
Except for Bucky.
Yeah, but even him, he's just like a brainwashed guy. Like I feel like we like Bucky because he like has a relationship with Cap and he's super strong.
Well, no,
he's super strong.
It's Bucky. Bucky has one of those flawed histories as much as Killmonger. You gotta think that when he was knocked off the train, he thought Cap died. He was stuck in the froze there where he was in the water. He was pulled out by the Russians? And then he was tortured for years and then indoctrinated to do this brainwash stuff. He knew what he was doing, but he had no compulsion to be able to stop it. Like Bucky has one of those sad stories almost as much as Killmonger did. That's why we have a lot more of attachment with Bucky.
And also, like, he was his best friend, so it pulls at your heartstrings a little. Like Captain wants to save him, but like he's so far gone. That kind of whole thing.
Yeah. Captain Save bro.
Hey, look, if Cap went out on a limb to save Falcon, he's gonna go out on a limb to save Bucky.
Of course.
And that means that both best friends are gonna fight for the title of best friend.
Oh gosh.
Me personally, I just took Bucky Barnes more serious. I know he's more of like an antagonist and a villain, but I just took him more seriously than most Marvel villains. Like,
definitely.
Like Loki, I've never understood the hype around him with the first Avengers.
Loki's too silly for me. Like I don't.
But that's kind of Loki's. That's kind of Loki's stick.
I mean, yeah,
that's personality, but I couldn't take him seriously.
Yeah, you're not supposed to because he's literally the trickster god.
He's a trickster. Yeah, that's what he does.
And everything he does is just kind of selfish, and that's just his character. He's not strong, even among the gods. Yes, he's stronger than most others because he's part god. Yes, but compared to everyone else, he can't do much to everyone else. He has to use tricks. That's why even when he fought Thor, he got his ass whooped until he started playing a lot more heavy on messing with Thor's mind to be able to really hurt him.
Yeah, and let's be honest, Bloodie in Operation, we can't take Loki as serious because we still remember the Hulk ragdolling him in the Avengers.
Oh god,
yes, and he's like, "Ow."
Yeah, it was even better. He remembered that in Thor Ragnarok. I love that.
Oh yeah, when he sees him, he's just like, no,
stop.
Oh my gosh,
yeah.
I do think that people like so. Since he was your favorite part of the movie, can we maybe discuss the people? Like, have you heard about people that have hated him because of what he wanted and stuff?
Well, yes. There's people who with Killmonger, the great thing about it is that he's conflicting for both sides because you see people who understand where he came from, but they didn't really understand where he came from because that's where the big draws tie down is that a lot of people see it as, oh, he wanted black liberation for the world. Yes, that was part of it, but they didn't realize that he wanted black liberation through imperialization. He wanted to create the Wakandan empire, as he said when he was talking about the sun will never set on the Wakanda empire. That was the same thing that they said during the Roman Empire, and that's the same thing they said during the
British
Empire, is that our legacy will never die. That I will be the last. When he burned all the herbs in the garden from the Panther god, he did not have any intentions of letting anyone take over after him. He was going to do that all himself. That's what people are not realizing and seeing. Yes, he wanted to empower black liberation because of the oppression that they've seen. However, he wanted to create an empire himself and rule over everything.
He wanted to be king. But there are a lot of people who really and I think that it's important to realize that this movie is coming out in a time where there's a lot of racial divide.
Yeah,
there's like a lot of tension going on. And so there are people who took that, right, his ideologies, and basically hated the movie because they felt that he kind of was like they were pushing this sort of
violent
idea. Yeah, like
basically what they did to us, he wants to do right back to them. That's basically what Killmonger is.
Yeah, he wants to kill all the white people. That's basically what he was saying. So like there are people who were angry.
Wait, what are we talking about now?
Killmonger's motives.
People.
You paying attention?
No, I'm at work. I have to leave.
We're just talking about how Killmonger, like what's going on right now in politics, and how Killmonger kind of had this idea that he wanted to kill all the white people, basically, and so that black people can rise up. And there are people who hated Killmonger in the movie because of that.
I don't even want to kill all white people.
I've been reading.
Take back everything.
He says that. He says we're gonna kill them. We're gonna kill their children.
I was thinking he was basically a young Malcolm X. He was basically a young Malcolm X, but
this I need to see movie more than once. I need to see this movie more than once.
Well, I remember that part just because it impacted, like, it just made me feel something, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And also people have been talking about it. They're just like, how can you enjoy this movie when it says something so, I don't even know, so
true?
Racist.
So true?
Oh damn! But I'm gonna try to lighten the mood a little. I'm gonna try to lighten the mood. To be fair, Killmonger's the one who said that, correct? So it wasn't like necessarily he was antagonist. It wasn't like they were saying that was the right thing to do.
Exactly.
And that's why he was trying to stop him. Had to stop him and try to kill him because he was doing it the wrong way.
My honest opinion, I believe, like the reason why people are so upset or mad is because I think they're afraid that something like that could actually become true.
Ooh.
Yeah. We get closer and closer to it.
It's like the futuristic type of weapons, but like somebody has that type of mindset.
That charisma for it.
That's a good way to think about it.
And you gotta think too is that he made a lot of points. Is if you listen to what he said, especially when he first came in, is that there's 2 billion people out there that look just like him that are being oppressed, that don't have what they have. Why can't we share that with them and take back what was taken from us? He said all people in the world came from the motherland, so shouldn't all people be our people? Everything in the world started in Africa, as he put it, and spread out from there. He makes points is that when we were one continent back in the day, if you want to go on the supercontinent with the Pangea theory, everything started in Africa. And then we all spread out to different parts. And as the world split up from the shifting of everything from the globe and the tectonic plates, if you want to go into that, everything split. Everyone has a base in some port. It don't matter where we come from. Everyone has ties to another part of the world because of where our ancestors came from.
Mm-hmm. And then even with that, he also made the mark that like there's like 2 billion people out there that look just like us, but they're like oppressed.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even just like in modern times, even back in the day, like literally people were just taking African natives and they were just making them into enslavement. Even back then, Wakanda could have done something, but they didn't.
Right.
Yeah.
So because it's more so like he felt abandonment and betrayed by his own people, right?
Yeah. And you got to realize too is that his dad, Prince Njobu, would tell him the stories of Wakanda. If you listen in the beginning, Njobu,
he's the narrator.
Yeah, he's the narrator at the beginning. That's Njobu telling that to Killmonger. It's not T'Chaka telling T'Challa.
Yeah, and even the Njobu, like the prince, he said to Eric that, you know, even if you go back to that land, they would consider you lost. And he said, "How am I lost? I'm right here." Yeah, and that's when he got the sense that maybe the country Wakanda is lost.
Exactly.
And technically, they are because they're hiding.
Exactly. Right. And that's what the whole movie's about, is that ideology, is that one, that T'Challa was wanting to stick to old traditions because of the past. He wanted to be like his dad. And when he realized what his dad did, because we saw the truth about what so many people have stated. They say absolute power corrupts absolutely, and that history is written by the victors. Look at what his dad did. He killed his brother, his uncle, and left his nephew, his brother's son, there in Oakland, instead of bringing him back and helping to raise him and change his mind because of what he had seen. He could have helped him, but he left him there because he said that was the truth he chose to omit. That showed exactly, and that's one of those things, is that he proved that that history is written by the victors. He killed his brother and he chose to omit his son from history. And what did that do? That caused his son to grow in a broken system because of what we've seen with racial tensions in the U.S. back then. And he went across everywhere from warplane to warplane as a war dog, all across different war zones. Mm-hmm. And he grew up with that. He built that hatred over years because he was left by his people and his dad was killed. He had nothing, but the world had taken everything from him. So he was going to take everything back from the world. That's what that mentality breeds. He could have had that changed had they not left him. And it goes to show that that's what Nakia was trying to push out to T'Challa in the beginning, is that she's been around the world and seen the suffering of people. She wants to change that. She wants Wakanda to offer the help and abilities to that. And that's where it comes to the thought-provoking aspect of the dueling ideologies, is that you can, when you have something to offer and to help, do you continue to do it or do you continue to hold back? And when someone does want to take what you have and use it, do they do it for the right reasons or they do it for the wrong reasons?
Heavy. It's very heavy. It's and I think that it's one of those things, right, where it's not this like mindless, like the world is in danger, we have to save it again, you know. So Black Panther brought something different to the table where it gives you something to think about.
The plot is definitely more thought-provoking than other Marvel movies. It's more layer of depth to it. Which always makes such a great movie, because you can't sit there, come get time, go defeat the villain. Yeah. But no, you actually sit there and think about it, where each side is coming from.
Exactly. I mean, it seems like they are on this sort of like thought-provoking, I guess, I don't know, in this thought-provoking time, because I feel like Civil War also made you think a little bit, and it kind of made you feel like, oh man, like obviously, like, these are comic books that they're going off of, so, you know, there's that. But at the same time, I think they're adding a little bit more insight by making you feel something. Like with that, you felt like, okay, these are like, they're supposed to be a team and they're going against each other. And so do I have to choose now? You know, like this side is making sense, but this side is also making sense. Like with the dialogue that they provide too, it makes you feel. And I feel like Black Panther did that. Like they gave enough screen time and they gave enough dialogue to these characters so that you felt like, I can understand this dilemma, and if I were in this position, I could also like see that hurt. For example, if anyone read into the little love story that was going on there behind the scenes, with, and I'm really bad with names, so please don't get mad at me. But his what's the name of the woman that
Nakia?
No, not the one that has a spear. That she's the general.
Okoye.
Okay, so her and then his friend. They had a love story. Like you guys remember, like, and they were like calling each other love, and they were like, and then all of a sudden in the end, like because of where they stood.
That part was savage as fuck.
Like he basically like when they're doing their little circle, like that meeting that they were doing, and he's like, and fucking Killmonger tries to take over, and he's just like, no, I agree with him. Like, we need to do something. And she's looking at him like, what? Like, that's heartbreaking, you know?
Another thing about it is W'Kabi, he was technically in the right. He's just following the king's orders.
You can't get mad at why he did that. For 30 years, he's been just waiting for them to, like, try to capture the people that killed his parents.
Yeah.
But it's like, but W'Kabi kind of got mad at T'Challa for something like he was only doing it.
But T'Challa didn't tell him the whole story. He just said he slipped out of his hands. And he's thinking, like, how? Like,
apparently they're husband and wife.
I don't think they were married. I know that they were together.
I would assume they're married.
Yeah,
I'm not married. I actually think they're married.
I didn't get. I mean, I must have missed that in the movie. I didn't see.
The conversations they had, they have to be married because they are very close.
Yeah,
but they obviously. I mean, of course, I feel like there probably are deleted scenes, you know, because
there's a lot of deleted scenes. It was really supposed to like close to 4 hours long, I believe.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that there was like a time where they actually showed them like together. Yeah. Well, in the comments, but you know how in the movies they change things. So like Killmonger is different than the comics.
Yeah, he's completely different. But like
he's better in my opinion, though.
W'Kabi's
way better.
I mean, they did
like even if you like the small things like with the rhino, she had to be around the rhino when it was very, very small, and that probably took years.
Yeah, it was still growing.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think that they're married. But I don't know. I would say W'Kabi, he did the right thing. He put down the weapon. He knew better.
I mean, eventually, but like the shit show that was like them fighting on that plane, like that was really hard to watch because I was just like, these are their people, like they're fighting each other, you know, about something that. But
to be fair, in that plane scene, Blue, W'Kabi chose to fight Black Panther because technically the challenge wasn't done.
Yeah, I know, and I thought it was kind of interesting to see how like his tribe were kind of they were super loyal and they were fighting for him because he wanted to fight, and then as soon as I don't know if anyone noticed this, but as soon as he surrendered, his people that were fighting the women, they stopped, but their body language said that they wanted to stop. You understand what I mean? Like, and it's really important to notice like little details like that because they I don't think they wanted to fight, but because they're so loyal, just like she was also like she's loyal to the throne, like whoever's sitting in it. Remember that part?
Exactly.
Yes. There's this ideology of just like being loyal to and not you know, stopping. Yeah, it's like super emotional when you think about it.
Right, like that scene she had with her W'Kabi at the end. Like, would you really kill my love? Wakanda? Well, I forgot what she said verbatim. I think because I want to fuck it up.
Yeah, for in a heartbeat.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And then she put the sword to like his neck.
Yeah, bro, that put chills down my spine. Like, oh shit.
Yeah.
And like she showed that because we know that Okoye has always been traditionalist. She's always been old school, and she's takes what she does seriously. Each of the tribes are founded on that brotherhood and bonded. As you pointed out, W'Kabi's tribe, I can't remember exactly what the name of the tribe is. They didn't want to
border tribe.
Yeah, the border tribe. They didn't want to fight the Dora Milaje because many of them are a part of and associated with the Dora Milaje because the Dora Milaje are women selected from all the tribes to be the king's bodyguards. That's what the Dora Milaje were. Also, originally, anyways, at least
they're supposed to be like wives.
Yeah, and training. But T'Challa didn't want that. He saw them more as daughters and respected them. The Dora Milaje have always been strong women from all the tribes. So I love that, by the way. Like, I love that idea that there are women guarding the king, you know? Yeah,
sorry, that was just a random. Yeah, that's just
the
me.
King's guard is made of women.
Oh, no, good.
I'm just like, these strong ass women will kick your ass. Let's go.
Hell yeah.
I was like super excited about that.
And that's perfectly something to be excited for because it's great. The seeing Denai Guerrera up there, she was amazing as Okoye and showing off what the Dora Milaje are capable of. I love seeing that aspect.
It's amazing how many good characters there are.
Okoye the heart-shaped herb. I think she would have snapped, man.
Hey man, she don't need it.
I'm about to say.
Yeah, that's
she had the juice. She probably could have beat somebody with a suit on, man.
Whatchamacallit? She doesn't have royal blood though. That's
she can't.
Yeah,
she
that's
can't.
the only thing.
Yeah, but that scene in that like weird casino thing that they were in, like underground, that scene was like amazing. She's in that fancy dress and she still was like, "Nope, we're about to get down," and she like took them all out. Like
that part I love when she threw the wig at her.
Yeah, she threw the wig at him.
Did you guys notice while they was? Did you guys notice that they showed the Pan American African flag?
Yeah.
With the red, yeah.
Oh yeah, I saw I saw Coogler's little interview about that. How he's breaking down the scene.
Yeah,
that's dope. I was like, that's dope.
Yeah, they went into it like he was really trying to connect and show that how much.
And she was the only woman in red in the entire casino.
Yeah, and changing gears a little bit, and maybe I'll give you guys some practice, but some people have a problem with the movie because they felt Eric Killmonger wasn't quite Killmonger enough. He was a bit too easy to defeat. What are your thoughts on that?
Defeat.
What I can't agree with that, but like even in the comics, the thing about Killmonger in the comics, a lot of the people from Wakanda loved him. They loved that. They just loved him because he was a good leader. He was smart. He wasn't a true villain. He wasn't ruthless. He wasn't out there killing people. He just wanted to do what was right. But I don't know.
No, and to go with what Soul said, remember they rewrote his story for this movie, and they took a lot of base on what happened in the comic and rewrote it in a different direction that gave it a lot more heart. Like in the comics, his dad is the one who betrayed Wakanda, and T'Challa, when he found Killmonger, he invited him back. He wanted him right, but Killmonger also wanted his right as part of the throne. He wanted to make his challenge.
And I'm saying in the comic as well. His parents was killed by Claw.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But some people feel like, because in the comic books, Black Panther was never able to defeat Killmonger on his own. He always had some sort of bullshit help at the very end.
Yep.
So people are upset that Black Panther was able to best him. What do you think?
In the movie, you got to think that in the first fight is that Killmonger was going for the kill. He wanted to show that T'Challa's methods on everything was not going to work. T'Challa never wanted to kill Eric. He wanted to protect him and he wanted to bring him in because he knew the truth. He didn't want to go for that full-on aspect. He was just trying to stop him. But Killmonger was in a mindset that I don't care if you disarm me anyway. I'm going to kill you, and I will kill you. We saw him kill Zuri, and when T'Challa did not want to do anything, he picked him up and threw him off the waterfall. He was not going to hold back.
Even during the challenge. While Killmonger was on the ground, he just said surrender. He could have stopped it right then and there.
Right, real quick, guys. Bang in the comment section asks, how long was the last fight supposed to last?
The last fight?
Between Killmonger and T'Challa.
Who knows?
I think he was trying to refer to me like he was saying, well, you had to defeat Killmonger eventually, or else how long do you want that thing to go on for?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. And like the last fight with Killmonger and T'Challa and everyone went on for like the last 30 minutes or so of the movie.
I would say the only thing I really have about the last fight is so much CG. It's not gonna age well, and then that's gonna be a lot of people's problem.
Yeah, and that was my thing about it. That was the only real complaint I had was the CG from the suit being affected by the magnetic field on the train. And how that was kind of flashing all over the place. That was my only.
I also think that's going to play a big part in like one of these like future movies. They're going to try to like disable vibranium that type of way.
Yeah. Like I like the concept for that suit, but I'd like the old suit more.
I did too. I really did.
I don't know what it is. It
seems cooler to me. The kinetic repulsion, that's cool and all, but like,
maybe it's too skin tight or something. I don't know.
What,
but,
what are you talking about? Those suits were freaking awesome.
I like T'Challa's pull-up armor in Civil War better.
Yeah.
I'm not like I don't care about it being tight or anything. It just looked cool. Like I like that you put it on and like you put the necklace on and it's just like suit. Like I think that's cool.
That it was cool because you got to think about when Killmonger was in that big big old coat, and he activated his when the door Milaje. Just watching that suit kind of disappear as it turned into the
Oh, disintegrate off of him. That was nice.
that was dope. I like the
I don't know if you guys heard about this, but apparently they think that because T'Challa is going to be sharing like the technology with the world and all that, that they actually are implementing that technology into
Iron Man
suit. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Bleeding Edge.
Yeah, my question is for that because Black Panther takes place in 2016. When do y'all think Infinity War takes place?
It's gonna have to take place in a relative time frame, because we know Peter's still in school. We knew that in Homecoming that he was what was it, a sophomore? I think he was a sophomore in high school.
Was that prom they went to, or was it dance?
No, it was I think it was his prom.
It was prom. He was junior or senior.
I would.
It was prom. It was prom.
Either junior or senior then.
No, it was Homecoming.
It was
It's called Spider-Man Homecoming. Yeah, it's Homecoming.
Okay,
yeah,
so
yeah.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah, you're right.
So then, he would be a sophomore. So he'd be a sophomore in high school.
I would say probably about a year or so, because that would make kind of sense. Like within a year, you could adopt some of Wakanda's technology. Tony Stark would be done within like a week or two.
Yeah, we still, like I said, right now with the movies, we don't know the exact time frame, because we know that from the trailer that Hulk is gonna crash into the Centauran Sanctum there with Doctor Strange and Hong, and we know that was around the same.
When does Thor take place then? Because they can't fight Thanos for that long, like so.
Well, it's like I said, it's very conflicting, because we know Black Panther takes a week after Civil War, and that at the end of Doctor Strange is when he met with Thor, and that at the beginning of Thor Ragnarok he was meeting with or was it at the end? No, I think it was at the beginning of Ragnarok that he had met with Doctor Strange.
Yeah, I think that's how he got there.
Yeah,
right?
and that's how he ended up going to getting captured and then sent out there to Sakaar. Like right now the timeline is kind of up in the air. Like the only thing that we know guarantee is that Black Panther was a week after Civil War. Everything else has been kind of not fully explained, because we know that Doctor Strange took place over several months from his injury and everything that happened before he went looking for the Ancient One. So everything right now is kind of in flux. So we don't know exactly when.
And I feel like for Thor, his story's appearance, this story is probably him forging his new weapon, come in towards the end of Civil War. Part 1, that's probably what's going to do with Thor, that I think.
Yeah.
And because we don't even know the time frame for where Guardians is. We don't know where they are and all this, because the fact that you got to think too that at the same time that Hulk crashes on Earth into the Centauran Sanctum, or the Sanctum Sanctorum, and then at the same time Thor crashes into the ship for the Guardians and they pull him in. That has to be around the same time frame, and we don't know where that is, because at the end of Ragnarok that they ran into that big ship, which we can only assume as Thanos' ship.
Something just popped in my head. Isn't Ant-Man a fugitive now?
Yeah.
He's a fugitive.
He's always a fugitive at this point.
I'm just saying.
Well, he's on the run from.
Too. So what the?
Well, Ant-Man. Remember, Ant-Man was broken out. Yeah, that was after Cap busted him all out.
But how is he like? I hope he's like hiding or whatever.
Yeah, he is hiding.
That's the organization chasing.
Speaking of time frame, where the hell does Ant-Man take place?
Probably in the mix of all of that. That's what I think. He's probably in the mix of everything.
Ant-Man took place during Civil War, because of the fact that, remember, at the during Ant-Man, that's when he made the attack on the old Avengers headquarters.
I'm talking about the sequel though.
The sequel, that's like I said, the time frame on everything is kind of up in the air right now. We don't know, because you got to think of where everything has taken place since, and kind of trying to figure out that some of them have large amounts of time passing by in these movies themselves.
Yeah, and I actually just want to take a moment. I can't believe I forgot to do this in the beginning, but you know what? Shout out to Black Panther. This movie has made over $520 million so far in just its first week.
Crazy.
This movie is doing phenomenal, and I'm so glad to see it do so well. People were trying to hate on it.
How it's still sold out everywhere. It's still selling out.
And domestically, dude, and it's 3-day weekend. It did just under 200 million. When they accounted for being a 4-day holiday weekend with President's Day, it did 244 million.
Yeah, it beat Force Awakens.
No, not Force Awakens. It beat Last Jedi. It just came behind the
Force.
Yeah, it just came just behind it. But just to let it
Last
sink
Jedi
into
did 242. This one did 244, and Force Awakens did 288 million domestically.
Damn.
Okay. Yeah, and just to let it sink in a bit. And Black Panther's first 4 days out there domestically in the U.S. it made more money than Justice League in its entire run.
Leave Justice League alone, man.
Don't go for DC like that.
But I'm just saying, like, it's Justice League. Like that's their Avenger-esque movie, and it did better in 4 days. Like Black Panther's on fire. Oh my god!
See, what's funny is that they were talking about is that in 3 days, Black Panther came just close to what the first Avengers, which is their highest grossing, did in 3 days. But in its 4th day, it did significantly more than Avengers did. Not overall, but in that weekend.
And
so in 4 days,
didn't they have like a record-breaking Monday or Tuesday? I believe.
Yeah. They had record-breaking everything.
Yeah, and that just shows the power of what this movie has stood for. Not even just the fact that it's a black lead, a black cast, a black director with like everything like that, showing an African country. It's more than that. It's showing what the image is or what the story is about and the thoughts in it. It does help with all that because that's what people were looking at, but everything in this movie was so well thought out. There was nothing in it that wasn't there for a reason. It was to the highest point. And here's the thing. A lot of people were giving shit on Ulysses Claw and Agent Ross in it because everyone was making fun of Agent Ross. But he was significantly important there. Yeah, they were using him as kind of a joke, but he had so much importance there for a lot of aspects. And what people don't realize is that if you go and look at some of the interviews with Ryan Coogler, he talked about the alternate ending that he wanted to go with. And the alternate ending was that after seeing all this, Ross had realized what Wakanda was capable of and didn't want to taint what Wakanda was and go out and talk to the world about this. He actually was understanding where they had come from and their struggle and wanted to help hide this aspect. So when T'Challa went to the UN at the end of the movie, Ross actually met with him in the lobby and told him that I don't think you should do this. I honestly think you should stay the way you are. He's like, I won't tell anyone. He's like, I respect what y'all have done. But T'Challa actually tells him that this is his choice and that he'll take into account what Ross does and thanks him for that aspect. But instead, he went with the ending where Ross is sitting in the back of the UN room and T'Challa is coming out that Wakanda has so much to offer and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I knew Ross was the real one when he's about to die for the cause. I was like, okay.
Yeah. Ross was willing to sit there in the cockpit when he was being blasted at, watching that glass shatter, and would sacrifice to make sure that he was fighting for the world because he was trying to prevent those ships from leaving Wakanda. And he was about to be, blasted to hell as they were about to explode the lab, trying to protect that and help Wakanda. Like, let that sink in. Like, it's not always bad. Yeah, you could say what you want about him, but he started to really help be that new tie-in for Phil Coulson for tying the MCU together. He's been in 3 movies now, I think. Yep. He has, and he's been making his rounds just like a couple other characters. There was one agent that was at SHIELD that's been there alongside him, but I can't remember her name.
Agent Hill.
Yeah, Agent Hill.
Yeah.
And like they don't give enough respect to those characters. Yeah, I get that he's a white boy in an all-black movie. However, he still has a certain aspect to the story and helping all that because it helps to show that
they're so lucky they didn't go with how Claw really was because he's like a extreme racist in the comics.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
but
people just don't know, man.
But Coogler had Claw like on the edge of that because every time he would talk about Wakanda, he'd call them savages and all this and that. Like he had Ulysses Claw just right there on the edge.
He threw a little tad bit in there, but he was too much much in the culture. He got a mixtape out. He came to the casino with rap music, and I think that was his mixtape. Actually, but
yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Speaking of what Ryan Coogler and the MCU have done with this movie, what do you guys think about the Winter Soldier now being White Wolf?
I think that's really
cool.
dope.
I think that's awesome.
Really
You know, we talked about this on Vibration last week or earlier this week, and the interesting thing is that shout out to Triple Cup there. But we're talking about how they were calling Bucky White Wolf, and that there's several different theories about what that title means for him. Is that either one, that he's going to take over as the White Wolf, which was a character in the comics, or that the White Wolf is going to be a spy unit for Wakanda, and that Bucky's going to be helping T'Challa go out, because the fact that Bucky was a part of the unit that was originally supposed to go in and find Wakanda for the government. He was originally a part of that, because that's also what Killmonger was a part of. So there's so many different theories about what the White Wolf could be for Bucky.
Yeah, I hope they make. I actually hope that they make the spy unit, and I hope maybe Bucky gets his own movie.
Yeah,
that'd be dope.
I think if they do the spy unit, it would be because one, it would have him. We'd see more of T'Challa at this point in the movie and going after Infinity War. But it also helped people establish Bucky a little bit more than what we saw him as a sidekick in the first Captain America movie, and then kind of saw him throughout the past few Avengers, but really kind of grow into him, especially because after Infinity War, you know, a lot of the big heads and the big titles are being, you know, retired until they find someone new to pick up the mantle. We've talked about, you know, Falcon possibly picking up the mantle for Cap or Bucky, and I think that if they do the spy aspect of the White Wolf unit with Bucky there in Wakanda, that would give him a little bit more growth into that character, and then a lot of people will be more happy when he actually picks up for Cap in his absence. Because I still, as much as I like Sam, as much as I like Falcon, because he's pretty cool with the way that they done him, he still hasn't established himself enough as a big enough hero or character to really pick up the mantle.
He honestly wasn't even going to be in the Avengers until it's a guy under Feige. His name Nate, I believe, and he's the one that really pushes for like diversity in like the Marvel cinematic universe. And he actually brought Falcon into the universe, and that was pretty dope. But I don't know if they're gonna he's just there for to be, I guess, the friend to Cap. But he's not. He really doesn't have a role. He had a funny role in Ant-Man, but that was really it.
But you know, speaking of the Winter Soldier and Bucky, I actually want to talk about that. So you guys were saying he might do the spy unit thing, and you know what? You could do probably a cool spy movie, maybe with Scarlett Johansson, because you also see that she's also in Wakanda. Maybe she can join up the spy unit. They have been talking about making her own movie, so instead of Captain America and Scarlett in a movie, maybe it's Scarlett and Bucky. I mean, that would be an interesting concept. But you can also do a lot more with Bucky. As you know, the Fox universe or the X-Men are now joining the MCU. So what if you have a story similar to the comics but done a little differently, where maybe Bucky is assigned to kill someone, and that someone might be Wolverine's wife in Japan? Because as you saw, that was actually a story arc in the comics where the Winter Soldier was responsible for killing Logan's wife.
Yeah.
And that would be like to introduce Logan.
So you're saying that would be like a prequel, type of, or he would do it now?
Maybe prequel, or maybe he'll do it now. Who knows? But I'm just trying to think of ways you could use the Winter Soldier, maybe help start things up, and get the X-Men involved. Wouldn't it be cool to have Wolverine be mad at Bucky and try to kill him?
Well, I want to see them fight now.
Think about stuff like that.
I came up with an idea. I remember I was talking about how they could bring the Fantastic Four in, and basically,
shit. I mean, you can set up the X-Men versus Avengers in that way if they wanted to kind of do it the more MCU way.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Because Avengers would be hosting Bucky, yeah.
They could bring the Fantastic Four to Wakanda and show off the mechanical force, and instead of them fighting T'Challa, they fight Bucky and the spies.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So,
But
They need a new Fantastic Four.
hey, don't be hating on that cast. I like the cast.
I'm with Blue. I don't like the Fantastic Four. Like,
the Fantastic Four. Oh yeah. Hey, look, if there's anything, look,
bring them in.
there's anything that's come out of the Fantastic Four is that 2 out of 2 Human Torches have been redeemed by the MCU.
Yeah.
We can't without Fantastic Four.
To continue this universe, we have to bring in the Fantastic Four in some type of way.
Well, and that's where I made my point on so many different shows is that right now, keep the X-Men and the Fantastic Four universe separate from the Marvel universe right now. But I've stated before, if with this deal already on the verge of going through and finishing up, what they need to do is straighten out the X-Men and Fantastic universe. Let them get a better cast. Let them stretch out their wings and build up for their next event. Like I said, lead into Secret Wars, because then they can bring both universes together by having Doctor Doom with the powers of the Beyonder pulling everyone together. You could do X-Men versus the Avengers there, but that would finish out the Secret.
They just gotta make their own version of them character. Don't bring them universes together. Hell no.
Yeah, but that's what he's saying. They'll like make like a new X-Men and Fantastic Four and have them in a separate universe, and they'll converge later.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. I'm saying let them stay separate, but they need to fix up the X-Men and the Fantastic universe. If they need to get a new cast, especially for Fantastic Four, God, yes. But straighten out and let the X-Men cast right now that they have establish themselves, straighten out their universe, because right now it's a clusterfuck. But straighten that all out before leading into that, because it's a big possibility. Because they could do Secret Wars as a way to bring both universes together. They could do that with X-Men versus Avengers, and then after that, everything is left in one universe because of the collision of Battleworld and everything that happened afterwards from Secret Wars. That's what the one thing that they could do to really to do so many different things with both universes, because that opens up so many stories that we've seen before. They could do their own take on all of those, and it would help to bring all those together.
Mm-hmm. So what do you think about this, Blue? Like, what do you think they might do with the whole X-Men thing, or whatever else you might say?
I want them to fight each other.
I'm sorry, is that supposed to be me? You sounded a little bit more feminine than I do, but
that sounded pretty accurate to me.
I don't care. I'm just gonna say that right now. Like, I'm very much the type that I feel like, first of all, you guys all realize that it's been like how many, like 18 movies or something. Yeah, like I'm getting a little, yeah, like I'm not a fan of like them stretching things out. So if they don't need to, then it's fine if they don't.
They're gonna stretch this money out. They definitely.
They really want to. I mean, it's a cash cow. They keep getting a lot of money from doing these movies, but at the same time, I feel like when they do things like that, it lessens the value. Like, I think that they were getting there when we were doing like when we were doing like Captain America's like story and maybe like a little bit of Iron Man's story. Like they were like almost to the point where I was just like, what are y'all doing? But then it came back together with like, the Avengers, and like kind of like when they're all together, it kind of comes together and makes sense. But I kind of feel like if they try to do too much, it's going to make it worse. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I can kind of agree. Yeah.
But at the same time, I know it's important for the story. Like it's important for them to be involved, in terms of like sticking to the comic books and all that stuff. But I don't know. I don't know.
Oh no, maybe they had to learn from Black Panther and like try to build worlds and characters instead of just giving us like one-off villains and shit.
Yeah, it's important for them to kind of like have a standard, and if the ideas that come after this don't really hit that standard, then they might as well not do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. And Iron Man 3 was trash. What else? Both. Like,
well, I mean, we can go back. We can go back and be critical of every movie. As I've stated, is that each movie we saw the change in direction and improvement with each new movie and installment, everything started to improve. Because in the beginning, it was very cookie cutter. We all can admit that. But over time, we saw that improvement in either one, the way that it was shot, two, the way that the story was being told. And after they hit a certain point, they're like, you know what? Let's just go full unique with everything they did. But then we got Guardians. The thing
I can say about Marvel is they like to stick with what works. Like perfect example, the Guardians of the Galaxy, they're gonna use that formula for a lot of their movies.
Yeah, most of cosmic movies too.
Well, I mean, they're gonna definitely use aspects of that. However, it also comes down to the directors that they're using, as well as they're gonna let them experiment with what works for some characters and what doesn't work for others. You know, they can't go Guardians of the Galaxy with a character like Cap. That doesn't work. Whereas Thor and everything that Thor does is very over the top because he is a god. He's supposed to be that high air about him and that jovial nature because nothing phases him. That's how it should have been in the beginning. Like in the first two Thor movies, they try to be too serious and grounded with it. It didn't work for a character.
God,
like
those are terrible.
But
you know what? Blue was talking about dragging things out. So what do you guys think? Do you think Infinity War we should maybe kill off a mainline Avenger or something? That we
that's what Infinity War is, isn't it? Like someone's gonna die.
They have to,
guys. Let's be real. They're gonna kill some of the black actors and throwing us out, right?
They definitely about to off Falcon. They
try to kill War Machine.
No,
they're gonna try it again.
They're definitely gonna change up. I definitely think they'll kill them off for now, but bring them back. But the characters are gonna retire. We know that
they technically killed off War Machine, so like he's out for a minute.
He's still there. We know that he's still all right.
He ain't gonna be doing no work.
In the Infinity War trailer, what are you talking about? He's flying the suit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Damn, he's trying to say he's forgettable.
Wait. To be fair, it could be remote piloted. We don't know. But
he's trying to say he's forgettable.
So you gotta hold the L for that one because he was just like, nah, he's done. No, he's still there.
To be fair, man, I never felt War Machine because like they changed the actor who it was supposed to be, and
I know.
So much more.
You know the reason?
We don't need more money of it.
Clarence Howard. He's terrible. Terrence Howard's a terrible actor.
Did he want more of it?
He wanted more money, but at the same time, he blamed the first Iron Man for ruining his career. He blamed him. He blamed. Really? He came out in an interview and blamed Marvel and everything that Iron Man killed his career. No, you killed your own career.
The thing about Terrence Howard is he acts the same in every role he plays. Like that would have been terrible.
There are some actors like that, though.
Honestly, the switch to Don Cheadle was much better because I found him as a better roadie.
I do like him. Yeah, I do like him.
Yeah. His roadie was much better than Don Howard. And don't get me wrong, I like him. Like if you've seen Empire, he's great in that. But anything else, it's all the same. It doesn't work.
The guy from Hustle or Flow in Empire. He
like
everywhere.
Hey man.
This is what I'll say. You know how like back when the MCU kind of started, they're like, I mean, if you throw Iron Man in something, like it's instantly better because like everyone likes Iron Man, they recognize him. What if they start passing the mantle off to someone like Black Panther? Because Black Panther, as we can see, he's a very popular character now, and it'll be cool to see him pop up in more movies.
You're not wrong, but like I said, a lot of the characters that were unknowns have all become favorite characters. There's people who absolutely love, Gamora, Doctor Strange. People who knew Doctor Strange for real were absolutely glad to see him, and a lot of people really liked how he was portrayed by Benedict Cumberbatch. A lot of people didn't know the guy, but a lot of people
agree with that. But like, there's usually a top three.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
There's usually a top three.
Saying, like maybe Iron Man and Cap's time is done, and it's gonna be Black Panther and Captain Marvel.
Tony did say he's getting kind of bored about it.
Well, Robert Downey said that he's been doing it for a while, and he wants to put up the mantle.
Well, Robert Downey,
he was about to stop doing
bored
it.
Of money though.
Yeah. He was about to stop doing the movies, and then the Civil War, like the speech that Iron Man had in it, that's what made him say yes to the script. You guys know that, right?
Yeah. But the thing is, right now, as he's made his point, is that they're retiring their mantles, but they're still going to be producers and help out with the universe going forward. They're not walking away from the projects, and they've stated multiple times, especially Chris Evans and even Chris Hemsworth, stated that they would like to pick up their mantle again, their characters back, if they have a well-written story that encompasses their characters needing to come back. At that point, they don't mind, because Chris Hemsworth wants to keep doing Thor after Ragnarok. Chris Evans says that he loves Captain America and that is his pride and joy.
Yeah,
but he wants to put up the mantle for a bit and sit back and help to guide the new generation of heroes that are going to take it over.
The thing about, if you do a Marvel movie, you like your other films, they take a dip a lot. Yeah. So hopefully, I don't know.
Like
hopefully
I said,
they do the producing and try to fix,
because we know that a lot of them are producers. Like Scarlett Johansson has been a producer on the last couple films, and so has Robert Downey.
They need to fix her character. That's what they need to do.
Yeah, and with the talks right now of them doing the Black Widow movie, I hope they do it well, because they have a young writer writing the script with her as an idea for a concept for the movie, because they're just now offering to give it to her as a way to kind of keep ScarJo.
I recently just watched like a lot of the recent Marvel movies. She doesn't have no dialogue. She's just there, really. And like, you don't really know anything about her except for the part where I guess Scarlet Witch puts her under a spell, and that's the only thing that we get about her. The only thing.
Talking about the weird ballerina shit.
Yes, that's the only thing, and that's a part of her training to try to. But you don't understand that, so you're just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, they haven't done a good job of fleshing her out until like what was Age of Ultron. Yeah, that's when they did it.
I don't know if you guys just got my DM I just sent into the little group thing, but do you see how much money the MCU has made? This is actually mind blowing.
Oh
yeah. 14 billion overall.
This is being Star Wars. Star Wars is only at 8, by the way. It wasn't even out there at 10. They're less than 10. In the MCU, but it's still relatively new. It's only like 10 years old. It's already at 14 billion.
Jesus Christ.
Well, here's the real thing, though, is did they adjust the old Star Wars movies for inflation? You got to think about that.
Yeah.
I think they did.
I don't know.
So the big one that surprises me is kind of the Middle Earth and Lord of the Rings saga.
I like when you scroll to the bottom, you just see Sad Affleck with the DC.
I hate you for that, Neth. I've seen that shit.
That's fucking.
I kept scrolling. I was like, "Oh, y'all wrong for this."
And it's black and white.
So sad.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I saw even worse ones. Like, man, what was it about? Yeah, Ben Affleck had like a bunch of DC related movies where it was just wild.
I brought up DC. What do you guys think DC should do? Like after Black Panther, after all the success with MCU, what do you think DC's playbook is now? You got any thoughts, Blue?
Blue. What was the question?
Oh, okay.
What do you think? What do you think DC's gonna do now with Black Panther being king?
I mean, what are their options? They're just gonna keep doing what they're doing. I don't think they're gonna. What do you think they're gonna give up?
Well, they've already said that they're giving up because they can't compete.
Oh man, I feel bad for DC. I'm not gonna lie. Like Black Panther made more money in 4 days than
Justice League,
and then Justice League
3 months.
Yeah,
let's be honest. It made more money in 3 minutes. Let's be real now.
3 minutes,
basically.
Blue. What you actually watch DC animated movies, right? I remember you were really looking forward to the Batman Ninja movie coming out.
Yeah, I do. I watch those. I really enjoy them.
Yeah, so what do you think the DC universe should do? Do you think they should maybe like be more inspired by those animated movies because they are pretty good? Like, what do you think they should do if you had to fix them?
The animated movies have more leeway. Like they can kind of do whatever series of the comics that they want. You know, like it doesn't necessarily have to be like it can. The animated series can. I mean, the animated movies can kind of just do like one comic book story and then like that's it. Like the movies have more. I guess they have to sort of like stick with one thing. You know what I mean? Like they can't just jump from comic to comic.
Mm-hmm.
And so if they already went with like a particular storyline, they can add little elements, but they can't completely switch up now, you know? I mean, I don't think. I think they're going to come out with... I think they're gonna do another Wonder Woman though.
Oh, Wonder Woman was phenomenal. I love that movie.
Yeah, that's the best. That's probably the best thing to come out of that. But...
I think they're gonna do another. Like they're gonna
they are.
like they made a lot of money, with that one. So I think they're gonna probably stick with that. But like Black Panther kind of.
Yeah, Black Panther. Like Marvel wasn't even expecting it to be that huge of a hit. Like, oh my god, that movie blew back any expectation. Phenomenal. But I will say this about DC, and I've said this before. Look, if you're going to launch your universe or whatever, you probably should start with a Batman instead of Superman. That's my opinion. And you could have went with like, if you want to be more mature, be very different from Marvel, please use like the mature comics you have in your back slate. Like, what if you open up this universe with like Batman Under the Red Hood, where you instantly introduce Robin? It's a little bit further into the DC timeline because you do have to catch up a little bit. And like, there's Superman and everyone in this universe, and you see how dark of a character Batman is, but you also understand his ideals. Like, I'll be honest. I know he's killed people in the comics, but I just don't like seeing that on the screen.
People freaked out because they showed a little bit of him kind of killing people in
it wasn't
Batman versus Superman.
I
mean, yeah, but you don't see like blood. You don't see him like stabbing people. Like he just like blew up their, like, punched them really hard.
You didn't see that more towards the end of the fight scene.
But that's what I mean. Like
it was more like, did Batman just kill those people? It was like that. It wasn't like, holy crap, he's dead.
But that's what I mean. Like with Batman Under the Red Hood, he wouldn't be killing anyone in that movie, but it would show why he doesn't kill people. Like show the people why Batman is the way he is, and
I
how
think
he could have easily turned.
I really think they missed out on explaining why. Because like we have to remember that a lot of these people that go to see these movies are not going with like knowledge of
the comic book. As hell.
Yeah, you have to remember that when you do these movies. Like I know, like if you try and only do them for the fans, you're gonna limit how people receive it.
Yeah, and how much people want to see it.
Yeah. And like it would have been almost like a Killmonger story where like, Jason Todd was his old Robin, and like he felt like he abandoned Robin, not because, he couldn't save him in time, but rather he didn't take the one guy who took his life.
Yeah, there's a good story there. That why Batman turns the way he does and changes like his like ideology is a good story. And I think that if they would have explained that, I think that would have been a great movie.
And absolutely. And even at the end, he said, like, it wasn't that I don't want to kill the Joker. Believe me, I want to torture him to everything he's done to people and then finish him off. But at the end of the day, he's not the judge, jury, and executioner. It's not his right to take someone's life.
He's not that far away from it, though.
It's the fact that he's so close to that line, but he won't break it.
That's true.
That's what makes him almost a superhero, that he won't go past that line.
And that's what his whole thing is that he's talked about how many times he's thought about crossing that line, but he refuses to. Because look at the Killing Joke about that. That's the whole joke. That's the point of that story, is that could the Joker... Could Joker ever push Batman to that point to where he would kill him? What would it take to break the bat? Not so much.
The mystery ending to that movie is so phenomenal with the laugh.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was definitely well done. But I actually found the meme, guys. I posted the group chat if y'all see it.
I see it.
But yeah, it was crazy. How about box office numbers that everybody from the MCU just laugh at him and Ben Affleck in the middle, just sitting there with a sad face.
Yeah, but I don't know. Maybe they're gonna try to copy. They're gonna try to copy the formula again, because they try to do it with try to make DC more lighthearted, because they thought that would work. So they're going to try to copy it in some shape or form.
Well, that was part of it was Joss Whedon, man. But Joss Whedon is stepping down.
The biggest issue with WB is like it's the execs. If they don't step down or at least just get out of the way, they're not going to be great.
But yeah, DC is going to try to control what they make, so they're going to try to copy it.
They'll never be great then.
I will say this: we brought up Wonder Woman earlier with Blue, like great suggestion, Blue. Wonder Woman had comedy in it, but it was in a very serious setting with World War I. And they talked about how these people are being oppressed, how they're about to be bombed. No one was doing anything about it. You see, you can go that aspect. You can have some humor in there, but as long as you keep it in that serious settings, that's how you differentiate yourself from Marvel.
You have to do it right, too. You can't just shoot Marvel,
but you can go about it in your own serious style if you want. You just have to do it well like they did in Wonder Woman.
Yup.
Patty Jenkins, she saved that movie.
Yeah, but there's so much that we could talk about all day about that. But today was Black Panther Day. And that's where it comes down to.
Let's end this on a little lighthearted note. What's your favorite quote from the movie?
Ugh.
Oh.
Hey, Auntie.
Mine was
What another white boy for me to save.
Oh, another broken white boy for
That
me
was
to fix.
hilarious.
Yo,
Oh man,
dude.
for me it was
She's
T'Challa.
so funny. I love her.
For me, it was a T'Challa. He went to the plane the second time to meet his father. Like, son, you come home. Like, all of you are wrong. I was dead.
Oh yeah, when he yells at them, I was like,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
you go.
It was a really
boy.
powerful scene too.
What are those?
What are those? I call them sneakers. My favorite was M'Baku when he was talking to Ross. He's like, if you talk again, I'll feed you to my children. He's just scared. He's like, nah, just kidding. We're vegetarians.
Don't scare me, colonist.
Yeah. So, how would you rate this movie?
Oh, dude. 9.5.
Well, what do I rate the movie? Oh, Black Panther was
Yeah.
an easily astounding 10 out of fucking 10 for me.
I'll give
I
it a
just really love
colonizer
the
out of 10
movie.
for me.
It was a 10 out of 10 for me, but that CG got me. It was that was the only thing.
See,
If I had to put it
I
the only thing.
put it at a 9.5. It was right there
9.4.
at a 10 for certain aspects, but little things is what you got it. But overall, it was like a 9.5. Like it was right there on the verge of perfection.
Yeah, 9.4 for me. They couldn't find a way to put in Samuel Jackson, Morgan Freeman.
I couldn't backing away from it. It's a 10 out of fucking 10. I don't care.
Oh man, I don't deny the fact that it deserves 10 out of 10s. I was just like, well, you got to be critical of little things, but for overall, like it is
I'm going
perfect.
to 9.4. No, you're not.
I need more prominent black actors in a black movie.
Hey, look,
Where's the 5 at?
Yeah, man.
It's a 10 out of 10 like 2 seconds ago.
Hey, look, bro. Dean Winston making
colonizer,
a breakout role as M'Baku. He killed it, bro. That boy was up.
Oh, he's getting
Yeah,
a lot
you
of praise
gotta
right now,
you
too.
gotta give people new people a chance. You know,
Yeah.
you gotta.
Yeah.
You can't just be like it can't just be the same black actors all over again. Let's spread the both.
Do you think the M'Boku tribe, like the Man-Ape tribe, might take over for that guy's?
Jabari.
Yeah. Do you think that he might take over for like being the border guard?
I don't think so. I just think that they're going to get more.
They can get a bigger role.
I don't-
say so.
Yeah.
More say so in what happened.
Yeah, because look at the end scene when T'Challa's walking back into the throne room. We still saw Wakabi there. He was still there, but we also saw M'Baku. So they finally brought the Jabari back down from the mountains and offered him a seat at the table. I think the Jabari are gonna finally have a voice.
Even in the beginning of the narrative, like when they was telling the story about how it was formed, the Jabari clan, they decided to leave on their own.
Yep. And now
Yeah,
with
but you know
reaching
how when his sister and then his mom went to try and ask them for help, and he was like, "You guys don't come here in how many in a decade or something? You don't come here, and when you need help,
I believe.
oh generations or something. When you don't come here, and when you need help, you come and ask me." Like that part right there, I feel like that was like important. There's like more to that, you know.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
But as you saw that in the beginning, they separated themselves. They didn't want to unite over the vibranium and everything else with the other tribes, but they only come down when they want to take their shot at something. But they offered a hand back to them and brought them back to the table, and I think that's a great thing. I still hope that they set up Man-Ape. I want to see what they could do to cause that divide between T'Challa and M'Baku that would push him to go to being Man-Ape. Because
I don't think he's ever gonna become.
I don't think
either.
he's gonna be Man-Ape in these movies, man. It's not happening.
Yeah.
They're not trying to start with that.
We're gonna rage.
No. Look, I'm saying, like, I don't want him to become it now, but when they were gonna go and offer him the heart-shaped when they were gonna offer him the heart-shaped herb, I honestly thought that they were gonna be setting that up, and I was like, oh shit.
It's gonna be too many problems. They calling this black man Man-Ape. Oh hell no, nah, fam. They're gonna rage.
They're gonna do that.
Yeah, about to say that's the real reason why they didn't do that.
Yeah, they're not doing that. They're not doing
Man, Ryan Coogler was like, hell no.
Anyone who gets offended by that, they can shut the hell up because the motherfucker killed the gorilla and wore its suit. All right, he wore his skin as a suit. He is a literal Man-Ape.
They're not going to do that. The thing I actually think they're going to do is they're going to make Nakia evil, or they're going to introduce
she does become
Miranda.
Malice. She does become Malice.
or they're gonna introduce Atlantis and how they were connected. So
Yeah, I think they're absolutely going to introduce Atlantis with Namor.
Oh, that might be a good idea.
Yeah, but you know what? I think it's about 4:20 things we should start closing out now.
Yep, definitely. Like I said, man, we could go on about this all day, but we just want to get it out here. Blue, what's your final score for the movie? You're the only one who didn't get to say anything.
I'm gonna say like a 9.5 out of 10.
All right, that's a great score.
Yeah, that's a great score.
I think I really enjoyed the movie. I think it had just enough comedy. I think it could have used more action for me. But at the same time, I'm aware that it's a movie that they're trying to explain a lot, so it's not going to have as much action as I would hope in the other movies have, like the Avengers did, because they're all coming together and things like that. So
yeah, definitely.
It's amazing how close that movie is, by the way.
Yeah, it's great to see that. It's really great to see that. Of course, as much as I love Black Panther and what it did as a solo film, I think we can all agree that or hopefully at least agree that once Infinity War comes out, if that doesn't break every record of like all time ever, it's gonna be some crazy bullshit. Like let's be honest, they haven't opened up pre-orders.
It's definitely gonna break record, but it's gonna be hard for people to really like.
I don't know. I don't know.
That a lot of people went to go see this movie because it was Black Panther.
Yeah. It was something unique in its own, and I'm not knocking that at all. I'm saying as a solo movie, this has outdone so much, and that's well deserved in its own right. But you got to think of what Infinity War encompasses over a decade of movies and everything that they've tried to accomplish with this and everything. This is a culmination of everyone's effort, and that if this kind of movie doesn't do numbers, which I absolutely stand behind the fact that it's gonna do, it would be something that is truly shocking for me.
Yeah,
I think they should have done like something for the Infinity War movie at the end, like the after credits. I think they should have. I think they should have planted something for people who went to only see, who haven't seen any other Marvel movies and only went to go see Black Panther because it's Black Panther. They should have like planted something in there to be like, go see this movie, you know?
Yeah, because it's very close. I think
they did that for a reason, because it's so grounded, and the reason why they didn't do that, like, you know, like every other like Marvel movie, you think to your head, like, why didn't Captain America just call Tony Stark when he was having this problem, like why didn't they call? It was so grounded in Wakanda, like, T'Challa was going to reach out for help, and I guess they didn't want to bring.
No, not that. Just towards, like, you know, the after credits, like at the end.
They did.
They didn't want to connect it because they're like, oh yeah, you just watched Wakanda, you just watched T'Challa and all that, but look at this. I think they didn't want to really like throw that out there.
Yeah. I wish they would have said something about the Soul Stone though.
Well, the thing is, the rumor right now is that the Soul Stone is in the mountain where the vibranium is.
Yeah, but I wish they would have like. Yeah,
well, they don't. Well, that's the thing is they don't even that the talk right now is that when Thanos invades Wakanda,
that's when they find out.
Yeah, is that he's looking for the last soul. He's looking for the last Infinity Gem, which is the Soul Stone, and that the Wakandans don't even know that they have it in the mountain.
Exactly, Bloodie. And I think we have to realize they might have been teasing the Soul Stone the whole time during that movie because it kept going to a different realm. It kept saying the Panther God came through.
Yeah,
they might have been teasing it the whole time.
Exactly.
It might be like what's making, you know,
because
that
remember,
garden
the Soul Stone breaks through reality and allows connection to the living and the dead. And all that.
So they just like don't know that it's working, but it's working.
Yeah.
Guys, you know, really cheesy. Like that place where I buried him at.
Maybe it might be the reason why the fruits are mutated, and it allows.
That's what I was. That's what I was saying. That's probably why.
The heart-shaped herb is mutated because of the vibranium.
Yeah, they could do that, but
why do they have so much of it? Right? Like it must be something.
Like the reason why that doesn't makes sense, but why would they go to a different plane?
Guys,
like, it doesn't.
I think
make sense. All it did was give them powers in the comic. It gave them powers.
Exactly.
Yeah. Real quick, it'd be really cheesy if like the Soul Stone was like running in the dirt when they bury him, goes to the other plane.
What if it's
but that's what I'm saying is that a part of that is affected by the herb itself, and that it's all tied in the mountain because of how it affects the vibranium. But like I said, we could debate this all day. We don't know for the fact, but that's what the thoughts is right now.
Yeah.
All right. Well, good talk.
Yeah, definitely a good talk. Blue, since we're closing now, and you've been a wonderful lady here, why don't you tell them where they can all catch you at?
Oh, so I am a streamer, most importantly, and I'm on Twitch. I always play games. I always invite people to play and, that kind of thing. I am also part of the Broadband Bullies, so you will see me on a few podcasts, gaming podcasts, if you want to check those out. Follow me on Twitter if you have that, or if you want, download Discord. I do have one of those too, and you can always see what I'm doing.
She is very aggressive in gears. I can speak that firsthand.
She will fuck you up.
Yeah, that's also because you're a fraud in gears anyway.
No, we ain't doing this tonight. I can hold my own.
All right. So where can they catch you at, bro?
Well, I don't do anything at the moment. Just catch me on Twitter.
Just stomping people on Twitter or whatever.
I need to find stuff to do with my time.
That's all you do, man, is just be
I need to find stuff to do with my time.
That's what happens when you don't have an Xbox right now.
Unfortunately.
Neth, my man, where can they catch you at, brother?
They can always catch me on Twitter like Op. I'm always on there. I do have a YouTube channel, have some videos uploaded. And like Blue, we're, part of the Broadband Bully family. So I'm always on that Beastfire. We also do that Expand Your Mind podcast. So check that out every other week. I think it's on Tuesday around 9:30ish. Pretty cool stuff going on there. And before I go, I want to say two things. One, that Full Metal Alchemist movie did not break the anime chain. It's still pretty shitty. It becomes a train wreck towards the end, especially.
That movie is trash. Don't watch it. Don't waste your time.
And two, I feel like a lot of people are going to Infinity War because like, damn, it has Black Panther in it. That's how I'm going to leave it at, though.
Oh man, well we'll get into Full Metal another day. But so where can they catch you at, brother man?
Catch me on Instagram at the Soul King and on Twitter at the Soul King Lives.
Yeah,
and you will see my rants about Dragon Ball Super and everything trash.
Of course, he's always going to be talking about how great Boruto is, even though it's a slice of life.
Boruto forever.
Trash.
But for real, you need to follow him and check out his art. Man, as talented as can be, and definitely be watching it because we're going to be having some new art going up soon, courtesy of this man himself.
Yes, sir.
And of course, you can follow me at Twitter at Bloody Knuckles as well. I'm around on different shows. You can catch me on Saltiest Podcast on Thursdays with my man Triple Cup Chuck, on Wednesdays on Vibration, or on GRG on Friday, part of the IMG family. Shout out to all of them. And of course, I want to shout out to the Triple B, always having Neth on here, and then Blue having you come out, and everyone else over there. But from all of us here, peace out, and we'll check y'all later, guys.
Bye.
Peace.
So,